Hey, what's going on, my fellow idiots? Today I'm going to be baking a clafoutis, which is a French dessert, and it's kind of like a cross between a Dutch baby and a flan. It is super good, so good, and really, really easy to make. The perfect combination. So let's not beat around the bush anymore, let's just get into making this thing. Okay, so let's make this clafoutis. Now my stubborn brain keeps making me want to say Clafoutis, but we'll power through it and remember to call it a clafoutis. So the first thing we're going to do is get our tart pan, and if yours is like mine and the bottom comes out, stick it in a rimmed baking sheet because they have a tendency to leak. And then I'm just going to spray it down completely with some cooking spray. From there, I'm going to get some mixed berries, about 2 cups of frozen mixed berries, so it has some blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, and strawberries. And I'm going to pour them into the tart pan and then just spread them out with my hands so that they're fairly evenly spread out. Next, I'm just going to sprinkle some white granulated sugar over all of the berries, so about 2 tablespoons worth. You just want a fairly decent dusting over all of them. And then we're going to set the tart pan aside for a moment and get ourselves a large mixing bowl, much like we always do when we're doing baking. And into that mixing bowl, we're going to start off by adding 2/3 of a cup of all-purpose flour. Next in is a 1/2 cup of white granulated sugar. Pour that in as well. Then we're going to add in a 1/4 teaspoon of kosher salt. Into the bowl it goes. And then we're going to add in 1 cup of whole milk. And then after the milk is added in, we're going to add in a 1/4 cup of melted unsalted butter. Pour that in with everything else. And then we're going to crack in 3 large eggs. So crack 1, then 2, and then your 3rd. Make sure you don't get any shells in. Next in is a teaspoon of vanilla paste or vanilla extract. And then finally, I'm going to add in 1 final ingredient. I'm going to add in some bourbon, about a teaspoon's worth. This is completely optional. If you don't like baking with booze or cooking with booze, you certainly don't have to put the bourbon in, but I think it's just going to add a nice little flavor to it. So a teaspoon of bourbon, and then I'm going to use my immersion blender and blend this all together until it's nice and smooth and frothy. Now, you can also use just a regular old blender or even a food processor, but whatever you do use, just make sure you blend it really well for like 2 to 3 minutes to make sure that it is completely combined. Once it is mixed together, go get your tart pan back and pour your batter all over your fruit until it's completely full. Look at that. This batter is going to be really runny. That's what you're looking for because it is kind of like a Dutch baby batter like we've covered in previous episodes. So anyways, preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit because now it's time to bake this. Stick it in the oven for 40 to 50 minutes until it comes out nice and golden brown and puffy along the edges. As you can see, it's raised up quite nicely. Hold on for a quick second while I show Meg. She was asking to see it. And back to the camera. Look at how gorgeous that is. Like I said, it's kind of like a Dutch baby because you use a really thin pancake batter and it puffs up. Now, what we're going to do is, much like the Dutch baby, let this cool down for like 30 minutes and it is going to sink in a little bit. But we've got to let it cool down so that we can actually handle the damn thing. We don't want to be burning our hands or our mouth. So after about 30-40 minutes, as you can see here, the center has sunken in and the edges are still a little bit raised. So we're just about ready to eat this, but we have one final step before we're ready. We're going to get ourselves a couple of tablespoons of powdered sugar, and we're going to get ourselves a sifter, and we're going to sift some powdered sugar all over this. So just pour some sugar in, and then just generously sprinkle the entire thing with a good helping of powdered sugar. Look at that. And then it's time to cut into it and time to try this because it smells amazing and I am excited to try this. So let's cut ourselves out a good piece here. Use my offset spatula to carefully pull it out of the tart pan. Oh, I lost a strawberry in the process. Well, I better eat that. And oh yeah, that was good. But here's a close-up of it. Look at the inside of it. It's nice and gooey and kind of custardy. That's what you're looking for. That's what a clafoutis is. And look at all the berries in there. Like I said in the intro, it's kind of like a hybrid between a Dutch baby and a flan. It's really its own unique dessert. But you know what? Why are we still talking about it? Let's go in and taste test this. So with the first bite, let me tell you, wow, was that good. It was so just rich and delicious and sweet and custardy-like. And oh, this was just a perfect dessert. And it was really easy to make. Like, that came together in no time at all. It's so easy. You make that batter and you just blend it up and then bake it with some fruit. Super simple. You should give this a try at home. I guarantee you'll love it. But that is the end of the episode. I hope you like what you saw here today. If you did, why don't you drop me a comment, like the video, or even subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching Idiot Proof Cooking. We'll see you again soon.